Well, on yesterday's show, we talked about how important it is to get your home ready to sell and make sure that the design is everything that it needs to be. But even more than that, just having a home that you're comfortable in. So we have Sky and Roxanne here from Design to Sell. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does interior design services mean? What can you do for somebody?
Sure. So we take the project all the way from start to beginning. We generally start out with a design consultation. Everybody's always wanting to change out their home, especially now more than ever with people being in their homes more due to COVID and other things working from home.
That's true.
And so basically as little as doing flooring to as much as doing a full renovation or full finishing decor at the end.
You know what I'm hearing is if you're working 2 jobs or if you're a really busy mom, are you going to take that honey-do list off of that list, actually?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it
It's hard
never
to find
seems
the
to get
time
done,
to do that.
the honey-dos.
It is. So what kind of trends do you see coming up this year? I know we're all over TikTok and Pinterest and everything, but from your opinion, from the professionals, what's coming up?
I think it's really mindful design and finding things that are multi-purpose. A huge thing that we're seeing is just bringing the outdoors in and then incorporating more natural elements and things with texture and color that are incorporating more of that like soothing and natural aesthetic.
More like almost like a modern boho. It's okay to mix different elements and different styles and
absolutely.
just bringing more of that cozy appeal inwards with the different textures like Roxanne said.
Well, just for some tips for some viewers, like let's say we, have this beautiful blue couch. Is there some sort of focal point that you should have in your room that you kind of design off of?
So yeah, I think the furniture is a good place to start, and then I'd probably start with an area rug after that, and then kind of just build off on the pieces based around that focal point of the couch and the rug together.
So, I mean, a lot of times I've heard too, the texture is very important because obviously you've got this fabric and that's great, but you want to bring in different things. And one thing I noticed over here, we have the basket. The basket itself is kind of a hard texture, but then you bring in like the super soft, thick yarn blanket, and then you have a different pattern entirely for the pillow. Is that something that you try to lean on sometimes?
We do. We love playing with different textures. We love bringing in, like you said, the different softness and then the hardness. Or if you have like a leather couch, and then maybe you pair it with like a patterned, fabric chair. And so we love working with texture. Texture is everything.
Absolutely. Well, is there a certain, like say you have a certain vibe, how do you find your vibe for your home?
I think it's really about personality and getting to know the customer, for us especially, and a lot of people have a hard time visualizing things, so creating a mood board after we go into the space and after we kind of get the essence of what they're looking for to kind of incorporate their own personal style. It doesn't have to be one specific trend like a farmhouse or a boho. A lot of times we're seeing a mixture of more eclectic style that's incorporating different eras of design to make it feel like their own.
I'd love to dig into that a little bit. So kind of you explained the base of how you work with your clients, but say that you have somebody come in you've never met, and so what does the process look like when you're like, let's nail down your style, but then now let's pick out some items that might be good for you?
Sure. So generally what we try to do is we try to get into their home so we can see, how do they live? How do they use their space? What do they like? We sit down with them and ask them various questions of, kind of narrowing down. Maybe they have inspirational pictures to show us, and then generally we'll make up a mood board and suggest specific items.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then you guys do kind of a before and after. So obviously you know what it's going to look like in the beginning because you just get there and you're like, well,
yeah,
we can upgrade this. But as you can see on your screen, that's such a huge difference. One thing that I think people maybe don't think about, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but like your vertical space, because highlighting that inset like you did is just genius. And then putting such a cool modern light fixture on there, I think that really like emphasizes, sometimes people don't have a lot of horizontal space, but they have vertical space they're just not using. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And it's so important to incorporate more lighting in spaces. A lot of times we'll find that there's just not sufficient lighting, and it can be something that's a flush mount disc light, or it can be something that's really beautiful and you add another layer of texture and color and contrast with a drop down pendant or chandelier to just highlight that one area like in the living room we just did.
That's so awesome.
I feel like lighting, yeah, you're right. It is very important. Lighting, good or bad lighting, really makes a difference.
That's like my number one rule in design is lighting. Lighting is everything. It can definitely make or break a space. And like Roxanne said, not enough people think of that portion of the design when they're planning out their area.
And multiple light sources, right? I mean, you don't just
Right.
want to rely on overhead, but like lamps,
Yeah,
maybe,
like night
or
ambiance or like
Yeah.
toe kick lighting in your kitchen, under cabinet lighting, lights in your shower, above your shower. A lot of people don't even have that. They close the shower curtain and
That's
it's dark in
smart.
there.
Yeah.
So like sconce lighting, just mood lighting in general will really set the atmosphere.
Or a nice little candle.
Right.
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
candles.
candle lighting.
And it's
yeah.
the aroma of it too.
Yes.
When you walk into a space, it's
Right.
very inviting
Touching
and
all those
cozy.
senses.
Yeah.
And so that's something you prioritize as well, like kind of creating a whole sensory experience for people.
Right, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you want to hit all those senses, make people feel at home, make people feel welcome. You get that one first impression of walking in, and when you're living in your space every day and you're using your space every day, you should love how you're living. You should love the space that you're in, especially with as much time as we're all spending in our homes nowadays.
And one thing I've noticed too, obviously there are home decor trends. We just went through like the modern farmhouse trend.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people, if you don't have a strong direction, you don't know exactly what you want to do, you're like, oh, I'll just do that because everyone's doing that. But that's not always the right fit for you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We've actually been doing quite a bit of more mixtures and trying to bring a little bit more of the warm tones in. So even if you keep your walls neutral, but then find a couple colors that really speak to you, it's easy to change out throw pillows and rugs and curtains.
Well,
That
thank
kind
you
of a
guys
thing.
so
Yeah,
much. I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate you guys coming on. I
Designed
definitely
to
need to
sell. Look at that.
see you guys over at my house for sure. Well, we have more to come right here on North Dakota Today.